I was just thinking. I went to church. I remember when I used to go to church as a young boy, when I was practicing the faith of a Baptist. And it was nothing like an East Bay. You go to church at East Bay and a party breaks out. And a party breaks out. We have a good time. We celebrate the goodness of God expressing itself in so many ways. Yes, a love train. Yes, a love train. Be that. Express that. Be that. It is a love train. Thank you, men's chorus. Yeah, Tyrone.
All right. So we're going to need your help on this one, all right? All right, I wrote this song 20 years ago. Don't tell anybody. And we actually had a concert right here. Revenue remembers that. Right here. It's called God is the Only Power. That's the song. It's also the title of the CD. And I want you guys to remember you have a very important part. I'm going to do it once. I want you to do it with me. I take dominion. Do that with me? Big breath. I take dominion. One more time. Okay, take a deep breath. I take dominion. I think you guys got it. All right, here we go. Come on, Byron, tell them about it. Here you go. Ooh, I love that. Doesn't that feel good? God is the only power in my life. God is the only power in my life. God is the only power in my life. God is the only power. Nothing from without can touch the perfect life of God within in me. No past experience has power over me. None over me, 'cause I'm a perfect child of God within. And nothing that anyone has ever done, I said, can interfere with my divine inheritance. The power of God is greater than any circumstance in my life. The breath of God is mine to use. Mine to use. God is the only power in my life. Sing it with us. God is the only power in my life. God is the only power in my life. God is the only power. God is the only power in my life. God is the only power in my life. God is the only power in my life. God is the only power. Turning away from all feelings of inadequacy, I discover that all that I need is within me right now. As I forgive the past, I find that I have nothing to atone for, nothing to run away from, casting off the old me. I discover my true self. I take dominion, dominion in my heart. Oh, habits have no power over me. Conditions have no power over me. Personalities have no power over me. I take dominion. I am whole. I am free. I am complete. Na 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 na. Whoa, my God is the only power. God is the only power in my life. God is the only power in my life. God is the only power in my life. God is the only power. God is my God, my God is the only power. God is the only power. My God is only power. By the way, that was Byron Huffman, our sound engineer, on that whiny guitar. Thank you. And Mr. Reverend James Jeffley on bass. Brother Daryl, always on drums. And substituting for Felicia this month, has been Mr. Thomas Hughes, the amazing Mr. Thomas Hughes. So keeping in that pocket, right? With knowing that God is all there is, it's also important to remember that God is the place where we live, right? So there's a beautiful song that was done by, and he's a reverend too, right? Reverend Eddie Watkins. It's called I Am the Place Where God Shows Up, and I swear to God, everybody thought Kablaye wrote the song. So, featuring Kablaye. Good to have you back, Kablaye.
Am I strong enough to bear the burdens that sometimes come living this thing called life?
You better sing that song.
Am I wise enough to make the right decisions when I'm standing at the fork in the road? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize that I'm not alone and there's nothing I have to do on my own. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has his being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Will I have enough to do the things I need to do to take care of myself? Will I have the health of mind and body to live a life of grace and holiness? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize that I'm not alone and there's nothing I have to do on my own. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place. I am the place where God lives. I am the place. Moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God shows
Yes, 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 yes. Come on. Give it up for the men's chorus. We got Paris Page, Tom Rutterow, Chris Hanif, Michael Spratt, our music chorus director, Tyrone Cozy, and back for the first time in a long time, blessed to have our brother Kablaye. Thomas Hughes on piano, Daryl Thompson on drums, the Reverend James Jeffley on bass, the men's chorus. The place where God shows up. Not yet. No, not yet. Almost. Hold the horse. Hold on. Hold the train. The love train is moving. Y'all know last time I got caught up and just dragged around here so excited. So I wanna just do some acknowledgments first. I want to just take a moment to acknowledge Tyrone Cozy. Music ministry is so important to me. And the partnership. The partnership that happens when you have someone who's surrendered and just willing. Some of y'all don't know Tyrone has been here for 50 years. Almost. He was like, I can't be, I was born less than that. My father told me, he said, don't tell people how old you are, because that's how old I tell them I am. Tyrone's been here almost 50 years. And Reverend Watson's here. He's giving counsel. They taking notes, and they're like, okay, it's been a long time. And Wendy. So we got our stalwarts. our foundation in the house. But I know, see, this is how he is. I'm trying to talk about him.
Yeah, I'm like, take that in. Good
You
man,
see?
bro.
I'm trying to talk about you.
Not
And,
you, but you.
yeah, yes, not you, but you. And your commitment and what it's been like on this journey in the partnership. Tyrone called me all the time. He'd be like, okay, I just want to make sure we get straight on this. He said, we have rehearsal on this day and that day. And I changed the songs a lot. And he said, we just going to prepare them all. Because that's who he is. But I want to tell you a special part of the story is I saw the songs and I said, oh, okay, this is great. I think we need to take one out. And I took out the first time, God is the place, I am the place where God shows up. And Tyrone said, I wish I had the text right here. Please don't. Because that's Brother Kablaye's song. And this is his first time back. And we really want him to be able to do his song. That's Tyrone Coast.
Hallelujah.
Yes, we can stand up. That's all right. That's all right. You just receive that love, brother. You receive that love. And you know, God is the only power is his own composition. That's his original tune. He bringing his stuff, our stuff, all of our stuff. What Reverend Deborah say, all our stuff. I also want to acknowledge that it's a very special day. I have a couple people in my life who are celebrating birthdays. It's that Virgo season, and my business partner, Dr. Erin Connor, is celebrating her birthday wherever she is in the world. She's truly an earth angel in my experience and created a lot of opportunity for me in our company and in our friendship, always supported me. But there is someone whose birthday it is.
I wonder who it is.
That is the only reason, okay, Daddy, you too, but one of the only reasons why I am here, and for sure one of the reasons why I am who I am. Come on, Mama, come on up. Right. It's my mother's birthday. Right. Mama Lindell Johnson. So Saturday was the homegoing for Al Gibson's mom, Mama Joan. And one of the things that I always say at a homegoing is, you shall know them by their fruit. So I know you come here, even though she got her own home church, I know you come here to support me. I am your fruit. And everything that I am is because of the love and dedication and unfailing prayer that you have put into me. I am your fruit. I love you. And the men wanted to give you something special from the men.
1, 2, 3. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Come on, everybody stand up, sing with us.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
You know Stevie Wonder's version.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
We went to see Jeffrey Osborne a month or so ago, and Hunia and Kelly Nile, and a few of us went to go see Jeffrey Osborne and Mama, and Hunia said to me, your mama was dancing. And I said, yes, I know. She goes, no, your mama had moves. And I said, yes, my mother used to be a dancer on Detroit's Swinging Time, which is the equivalent of Soul Train, and on the Motown Review. Yes. And so, of course, when I heard that the hippest trip in town was a musical, I said, I got to take my mama. So on Thursday, you got front row seats to the Soul Train musical. So I had to have Love Train since we was going on the Soul Train. There's a lot going on in our community, and I just want to, hi. I'm Reverend Dereca Blackmon, Senior Minister here at the EASTBAY Church. I use she and they gender pronouns, and some people are like, wait, do you have to say it every time, Reverend Dereca? Some people, it's the first time. Some people never heard themselves included, their identities included from a pulpit. So yes, every time. I also want to take time to acknowledge the land that we're on, the land of Native peoples. We talk about the Ohlone folks, but we know we don't know all the names of all the people who peopled this place. And so it's okay to just take a minute. We got time. There's no time and space in God to just acknowledge that we've inherited a legacy that was loved up, prayed up, that was holy to the people who gave their lives. So we on holy ground wherever we are, because that's how they treated it. So let's us learn to treat it that way. Ooh, let's see, will you hand me my stuff? You know, I'm telling you, every time the men sing, oh yes, look, it's Youth and Family, son. It's one of our Youth and Family babies. Yes, yes. Thank you. You want to have a church for 50 more years? Let the babies come. 50 more years. Okay, we'll just make sure she don't get a cord, but other than that, let her roll. She got it. Reverend Nee, when I had Nia's here, I won't make her stand up, but when I had Nia in here, smaller than that, and she would start to cry, I would try to tip out the back. Reverend Nee being Reverend Nee was like, sit down. Don't you take that baby out of here. Let her learn to be in church. No, I'm talking about Reverend Nee talking to me and my baby. He was like, wait, I'm not. No, I mean, she just taught me. This is where we want our babies. This is where we want everybody, whatever condition. I mean, I've seen people come in this church half-dressed, and you know what the deaconesses did? You better have a shawl ready. I've seen people come in this church reeking of alcohol, and some so-called sanctified folks had a face, tried to go get some men and say, I'm not sure if this is the place. I am the place. East Bay is the place where God shows up. There are no exceptions to that. I remember on Wednesday night, one time I had a man just come up here and start talking while I was talking, and, you know, there's this thing, right? And it's a righteous thing. People are shooting up synagogues and churches, and, you know, we could be in that consciousness, but we are the consciousness that shifts that consciousness. We have to demonstrate that when God shows up as pain, as confusion, as alcoholism, as mental health challenges. We get to be the place where God shows up. Yes? We also get to be that place for our folks who are experiencing loss. And there's a lot of it in our community, a lot of transitions happening. We talked about our sister Janice, Olivia's partner Michelle, her wife Michelle, making her transition. Al Gibson's mother, Bliss's mother, both made their transition. Folks have been experiencing this. Precious's grandmother, we've been experiencing that, and sometimes it hits us unexpectedly and suddenly. And so our sister, Juanita Oliver, lost her life partner, Mercedes, unexpectedly a few days ago. And Reverend E called me this morning and said, I'm coming to church. Even Olivia, Janice came, and her whole family came the day after Michelle made her transition. They said, this is the place where I want to be, and that is because of who you are. When somebody says, I'm hurting, yes, Reverend E, you know you ain't got to just come on. You know you used to tell Rebecca Kaplan, just come on up. Here, take her the microphone if she don't want to come. Just take her.
When I came in here this morning, I said, I should have to pay admission to come here. Because no matter how bad I feel, no matter how sad I am, Juanita talked to me all night. And I'm her mama. And her partner's dead. So I couldn't say, girl, get off this phone so I can get some sleep. So I was so sad. And I came in here. And the moment I walked in, all of that lifted. I still have a sadness in my heart, but I also have joy. This child here know all about that. Because the Bible said to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. I'm so thankful that the men were singing. I'm so glad to see Kablaye. Because okay, thank you so much. I just want to say that if it's any such thing as joy and sorrow all in the same place, I got that this morning.
Yes, yes. That is what the Bible says, reaping what you sow. Amen. You would never have to pay admission here, because everything that's here is because you planted it. And everything that's here is because you watered it. And everything that's here is because we're going to shine the light of God on it, yes? That's good seed. That's good seed. Thank you, Reverend E. Woo! I mean, I feel like this church is complete. I mean, we just sung, we got the babies, we didn't praise the folks that's made their transition. I'm like, what was I talking about? I got to talk in here somewhere. But you know, the Spirit just moves you beyond some words, some plans. They're always asking me for a talk title. We're going to call this for the video, JJ. We're going to call it A Vision of Love because we got to put something on the YouTube. But, you know, God just speaks. And when God speaks to your heart, you just say yes. And that you is not just me. It's all of us. We have some exciting things happening at the church. So I just want to share because it's almost 3 months now. And I can't thank this community enough for just being willing to say yes over and over again. So if you're thinking, I like EASTBAY, this is my spot, I'm coming back, I'm glad to be here, I never met a church like this, I want to get more involved, we're having a new membership orientation. So some of y'all been courting a couple of times. Some of y'all been courting for about 20, 30 years. But we have things that are for our members, and we will increasingly do that. There's opportunities to vote. There's opportunities to take leadership roles. There's opportunities to work with the young people, and we're asking you to get committed. To get committed to the philosophy, to the church, to have a basic understanding of who we are and how we show up as God. And so it's just a couple Sundays. We're going to do them online. So we also want our online members. My godfather is watching from Atlanta, and I didn't even know. He said, I used to be on that Science and Mind. I know who Ernest Holmes is. She bringing me back. Let me find my books. And so we are a community that goes beyond these walls. And so we really want to invite you to do the new member orientation in October. JJ, I know I talked past the slides. Put it up again for me so I can see. Okay, it's October 8th and 15th, and it'll be at 1 o'clock, so you have time to get home from service, and then we'll do the new member orientation. All right, and next, community conversation. Every other month we have this. This time, we're launching our volunteer drive. We got some budget updates. So this is that member thing. We want us to come in, learn what's happening at the church, and learn how we can get more involved. You know, I was talking to James Glenn in the parking lot, and he said, we need to just take everybody on a walk around the church so people can see all of what it takes to keep this place running and figure out the place where God shows up as them, right? Is it in the ushers and greeters with Richard back there? I see he done got somebody from youth and family and put a stole on her. I mean, Richard could use some help. He's running to the front and to the back. The AV team, we got new AV equipment. They need 3 or 4 back there. So there's some place for everyone. And I'm not even going to talk about the facilities and the cleanup and the parking and being across the street and over. Just come and see what opportunities might fit you. Maybe it's some technology stuff that you can do to help us out. Everybody has a gift. So on the 24th, we'll give you an update, and you give us your questions. That also will be online from 1 to 3 p.m. after service on the 24th. And last but certainly not least, the classes. I'm not going to stop talking about them. You want to change your life? Take the classes. You know, people come to East Bay and they love it and they enjoy the music and a lot of good things happen. But I tell everybody, including the band, if you come this close, Reverend E said, you can't sit here every week and not have your life change. But the classes are the place where you work that out. So I'm teaching one called Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life. It's 6 weeks. It starts next week on September 21st. You have to be able to come to all the 6 weeks. So every Thursday from 6 to 8:30, my class is Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life. And it is a foundations class for those of you who are thinking about becoming practitioners, getting that license to pray. We would love to see you take the foundation class. Treatment and meditation. Actually, I think she's doing the art and science of spiritual mind treatment. So Reverend Ona, who is taught Meditations More Than You Think last time, will be teaching that. Arlene is teaching the 5 gifts for an abundant life. Anybody want a more abundant life? Yes. These are online. The other 2 classes are on Tuesday, 6:30 to 9. You can do this. And I'm really asking everybody, Daryl, I'll see you at class? Daryl, I'm going to see you at class? I'm going to see you at class, right? Yeah. I'm not asking some people. Don't mind when I come by and you say hi and you give me a big hug. I'm not asking some people. This is not a moment, it's a movement. And if we all get on this one consciousness, on this one accord, then everything is going to change, not just in here, but on this block where we had a shooting. It's going to change in Oakland where our cars are getting broken into, not just because somebody is bad, that's an old story, but because opportunity is not there, because the consciousness of I see you beyond your activity needs to be present. And there's plans. I mean, people ready to go pray up the blocks. I'm excited about what East Bay wants to do in the community. Now, Reverend E, you're going to have to come up here if you're going to make announcements. Oh, she said she giving me the sanctified wave. I said, oh, I know that one. I mean, you get the sanctified wave from Reverend E. You be all right. You're doing all right. Let me keep going with the announcements. The other thing that just got added is our own Booker T is going to teach self-mastery in person on Saturdays. Y'all been asking for an in-person class. So he's going to teach self-mastery in person on Saturdays. So I could talk about the classes all day, but I wanted to have Chris come up, who is one of the students who graduated from our Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life class, and talk a little bit about his experience.
Good morning, East Bay. You know, because I grew up Pentecostal and sanctified, I can't say anything without first giving an honor to God, who is the only power there is. Love to honor my senior pastor, Dereca Blackmon, Reverend Dereca Blackmon, and the founder, Reverend Eloise Oliver. We would not be here without you. She gave me 2 minutes, so I wrote it down. When I came to Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life class, I didn't know quite what to expect. But I knew that I needed to be reconnected to my divine self. I'm a community organizer, and I've been tasked with organizing people of faith across the city of Oakland to address the problem of public safety. And I don't have to tell anyone in this room that Oakland has a complicated history of crime and punishment. I meet on a regular basis with people who have bullet holes in their homes and offices, who are wondering why law enforcement can't respond to a 911 call in less than 3 days. And with people who are abolitionists who have been traumatized by the violence that police officers and imprisonment has inflicted on Black and brown communities, especially here in Oakland. And it's my job to bring all these people together to have meaningful conversation and develop solutions to our shared struggle. So instead of worrying because of this class, I pray. This class taught me not to complain to God about how big my problems are, but to tell the problems how big my God is. There is one life, there's one mind, there's one great and powerful consciousness that unites us all, and that life is God, and I am the one life, that one life is in me. Recently, I was at a training in Los Altos where we had immigrants from El Salvador, Mexico, Guatemala, and as far as Korea. We had Buddhists and Baptists and Catholics, Muslims and atheists, and they asked me to give a reflection from my faith tradition. So I shared with them what I learned from the class, the steps of spiritual mind treatment. And I got to tell them that the power of God, step 3, is manifesting itself right now as a pathway to citizenship for immigrants, as affordable housing and jobs, and a turn for our communities that have been neglected and underserved. And that it did not require the displacement of Black and brown people to do it. Now I know that there are people in this room who are looking for a turnaround as well. And with all the stuff that we hear on the news and the struggles that various communities are facing, we need more people who will stand in the truth of who they are, made in the divine image and likeness of God, to affect change in this world. When you take this class, know that it will not only be a benefit to you, your finances, your health, your family, but to the entire community as well. God bless you.
Yeah, Tyrone said pick up the mic because he dropped it. So I was listening to the story on YouTube, 12 million views now, The Danger of a Single Story. And it talked about changing the narrative. So right there, in 2 minutes, the story is changed. The story is changed about the police. The story is changed about immigrants. The story is changed about where power comes from. The story is changed about what an online class can do. The story is changed about who a Black man is. The story is changed about whether Black men are involved in the church or the faith. The story is changed. That's all we're trying to do here. That's all we're trying to do here is tell the truth and shame the lie. Okay, mama, we're going to shame the devil today. I mean, it's all the same thing, the devil, the lie, confusion. I tell that story all the time. Mama and I got into it. I said, you're not going to teach my baby about no devil. And she was like, and I was like, I'm telling you, not going to do that. And then I came to foundations class because it's the class. And you know who taught my class? Reverend Mawata. Reverend Mawata taught the class too. And when they went to talking about forgiving the person, he said, whew, I'll never forget it. He said, he killed my daddy. And he had tears in his eyes. And he said, but I forgave him. And I thought, whatever my piddling little stuff is, this Black man then stood up here with tears in his eyes and said he forgave that. Sign me up. Sign me up for what that is. Amen. So Mama would talk about the devil, and I came to foundations class, and we started talking about the confusion. I said, well, Mama, it's kind of the same thing, the devil and confusion. She says, oh, yeah, because the devil is the author of confusion. Okay. See, we don't have to fight the folks in our families that have different faiths. Because that's not what our faith teaches. We're open at the top. Reverend Deborah says we're omni-faith. So how is it possible that we're going in judging them? When I was getting married, I was like, I don't know. He's not into religious science. Reverend Michael Beckwith told me, he said, let me just get this straight. I want to make sure I understand what's going on here. In your religion, you celebrate the truth wherever it's taught. And you're not sure if you can accept him. In his religion, you're going to hell. But he said yes to marrying you. Somebody got it backwards, and I don't think it's him. I'm just talking about a story now, right? And what it means to have a vision of love that transforms an old story, right? So I want to just acknowledge, Juanita, that we gave thanks for you and prayers to you and your time of transition. Juanita's joined us, and I just want to send our love to you and to Mercedes and her family as she is ever present with us, just not in the body. I have a story. I want to tell the story of cooking. I hate cooking. I burn water. I microwave my turkey bacon. I think top ramen actually tastes kind of good. I eat Ritz crackers like they a meal. And I know my kids, they got to hate me because I think the insides of their stomachs look like Eggo waffles when they were little because they could drop it in the toaster and push it down. I have to worry about nothing burning. They ate Eggo waffles a lot. And, you know, it's in part because Mama is the cook. You know, Mama would cook, that's her thing, and she, you know, kind of took over the kitchen and even came into my own kitchen and pushed me out. And that's why, you know, I don't like to cook, because Mama, that's her thing, you know, and it just really wasn't a place for me, and I just felt like, okay, well, let her do that, and I got DoorDash. And that's been my story. The story is, I hate cooking. I eat horribly, my kids hate me, and it's Mama's fault. But today, I want to tell a different story. My mother taught me how to cook. And some of the most fun times I can remember having with my mother were being in the kitchen beside her, shaking the little bag with the chicken leg in it and the flour and the mixture of seasoning, and I'd just be shaking, and then she'd take it and put it in the hot grease, and it'd be, man, pop, 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 pop. It was the special pancakes that we made. My mama was creative. She took that cookbook and everything that was in it she made us. She used to go by the alphabet for the vegetables, and we was at the R's, and we had rhubarb and rutabaga. She loved us through her food. Everything had a little extra butter in it. That was love, right? She worked hard all day, and she came home, and she made sure that we felt her love instead of her absence. And when she came to my house, what she actually saw was that I was tired, and I was running, and I was manic, and I was doing all of this, and she said, I'm going to help you. I got this. You just sit down. I remember Reverend E telling me when I was younger, she said, the problem with you young women is that you try to do everything. She said, I didn't cook in my house till you was how old? She said, Big Mama, they did all of these, and we went out and worked, and we lived together, and this one took care of the children, and this one did that, and then everybody had a part. I was like, oh, right? So the story is different. When I went to the Virgin Islands and I was all by myself, they didn't have no DoorDash. I learned how to sear salmon real nice in the cast iron skillet. I make macaroni and cheese that could be up in here at a potluck. I actually can cook when I want to. Look, Nia clapping. She was like, "Ooh, them few times you made us some good food." But that's not what the real story is. The real story is that I was afraid to fail. I had a little perfectionist attitude because I was good at this and I was good at that. I was in plays and on television as a kid. I got straight A's. I wanted A+. I liked to be right. That's not how cooking works. Nia, chef, she come to my house and I be getting the measuring cup to measure 1/4 and this and, okay, how much is a cup of water? She like, girl, if you don't just put the cup in there. It's a cup. It's okay if it's just. Now, that's not how academics work. Academics, it's got to be exactly right. You got to check. Somebody going to put a check on it, and they're going to say if it's right or wrong, and that was where I excelled. I didn't know how to translate. I didn't know how to let go of control, so I had to get on the drama triangle and make myself the villain of my children, the victim of my mama. Right? That's called the drama triangle. Over here, I'm the villain. Over here, I'm the victim. But today, I get to tell the truth. My mama loved me, and I loved cooking with her. My children had some good food from time to time, and I actually do know how to cook. But what it took, and I'm not talking about me now, I'm talking about all of us. What it took was for me to let go of my ego. What it took was for me to let go of the idea that I had to be perfect, that it had to be done right. What it took was for me to be willing to fail. Where are you unwilling to fail? Where are you unwilling to try because you're afraid that you might fail? Maybe mine was cooking, maybe yours is academics. Maybe somebody told you you're not smart enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not attractive enough, your clothes ain't right, your hair ain't right, your bank account ain't right, you ain't from the right neighborhood, you not from the wrong. Whatever it is, it's called the upper limit problem. We've been doing the big leap, yes? Amen. The upper limit problem, we're going to go here to page 77. Now, I brought glasses today. Right here. I mean to tell y'all, it's like 12 pair of glasses around this church for me now. I love y'all. Okay, here we go on page 76. And this is a section on criticism and blame. Here's what he says. When we criticize something, it usually doesn't have anything to do with the thing we're criticizing. When we blame someone or something, we're doing it because we've hit our upper limit. See, remember, the upper limit is the place where your life is good and you start to create some problems in it. Where your relationship is going well and then you start a fight and you're going, why did I do that? Where somebody's trying to offer you on a promotion on the job and you're like, no, that's just going to be more headache. Right? Where you go into the doctor telling them you got some kind of diagnosis. I think I got a brain tumor. I think it might be cancer. You know, my mama was sick. I think it was that. I think, you know, in my family and blah, blah, blah. I read on the news somewhere that some people are getting the coronavirus from the napkins. And whatever it is, you walk into the doctor with the story. We're doing it because we've hit our upper limit and are trying to stop the flow of positive energy. Some of us got positive energy coming in. Like my mama is positive. She is just bright and bubbly. And she calls me, she's like, hey, baby. I'll be like, hey, mama. Don't I? She's like, what's wrong, baby? Mama, blah, 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 blah. Same story, different day. Well, I know it's going to be all right. It's not going to be all right, mama. mean, I'm just saying, you know what, I can't talk to you right now because she's laughing. She didn't know I was going to tell on myself like this today, but it's because it's true for all of us. Somebody's trying to bring us something positive, and we got something negative to say about it. I remember I went to go see a chiropractor, and I told him 20 things that was wrong with me. I think it's my back here, and I think it's here, and then I got a pain right here, and then I got this. He said, okay, well, let's sit down and take inventory. Let's take inventory. And he asked me a whole bunch of questions. He went on and on. Have you ever had cancer? No. Do you have high blood pressure? No. Do you have high cholesterol? No. Do you have this? And he went on and on and on. I've never had a practitioner talk to me this way. Over and over, he kept asking me questions. I said, no, I'm good. No, it's good. I'm good. And he said, well, can we start with the fact that you're in very good health? And I was like, oh, my gosh. Because this is what we think. We think we got to go to somebody with everything that's wrong and then try to get them on our page of negative energy. And some of us think we need to be that negative energy. Somebody come to us all bright and bubbly, and she get on my nerves, all that chirpy, chirpy, chirpy. Trying to stop the flow of positive energy. And when this fact first dawned on me, I had trouble accepting it. I had spent years perfecting my criticize and blame mechanism. Anybody perfecting their criticize and blame mechanism? You know I shouldn't have come to church today. When I was in the act of criticizing or blaming, I was completely convinced that the other person had done something that needed criticizing. I mean, somebody got to tell them. Criticizing and blaming are like being in a hypnotic trance. When we're in the trance, we really believe that the other person has done wrong. You've probably seen this kind of stage hypnotism where the hypnotist gets the subject to believe they're a dog or a chicken, and they start barking and strutting around, clucking, and the audience is just laughing because we recognize that we spend a good bit of our own lives in a trance. Amen. Who has hypnotized us? Maybe it's the television. Because if you watch it every day, and some of you all day, the so-called news, because most of that ain't news, it's opinion. And it's bad opinions at that. It's a hypnotic trance. And then we get involved in activating that. He says criticism and blame are addictions, and they're costly addictions because they are the number one destroyer of intimacy in our close relationships. When people give the reasons for breaking up with someone, the most common one they give is, I got tired of the constant criticism and blame. Ooh, it's quiet today. Oh, nobody else been criticized or blamed? Ooh. You know it's good when everybody just got the blank stare. Anybody is a criticizer or a blamer? You don't have to raise your hand. I already know. You already criticizing me at least 3 times. Well, Rev, I really like it when you do this. But because, they call that a poop sandwich. You give a compliment in the front, you put the poop in the middle, and then you give a compliment on the back. I mean, that's not what they call it, but that's appropriate. With that in mind, it becomes doubly important to regard criticism and blame as addictions. Now, if you want to find out if your upper limit behavior, the thing that you do to self-sabotage, is an addiction, here's the experiment I want you to do this week. Try to stop it for 1 day and see what happens. Just try to stop criticizing for 1 day. Some of us are going to have trouble with the first hour. If it's not an addiction, you'll be able to stop it right away. If it is an addiction, it'll creep back into your behavior unconsciously, just like a smoker who quits cigarettes and then suddenly finds it back in their hands. Amen? I mean, I know it's a hard teaching. Because God only gives you the things that are hard for you. So I come up and I talk about what's hard for me because I know there's only one of us. And so if we want to get free of this stuff, if we want to get free of this upper limit, if we want to get free of this self-sabotage, then we're going to have to start telling a different story. They say there's two sides to every story, and then there's the truth. The drama triangle looks like hero, villain, victim. If your story involves you being one of those, it's time for a different story. Because in the center of the triangle is the truth. And the truth is you're not a hero, they're not a victim, they're not a villain. Oh, but Reverend Dereca, you don't know, in my family, this person already did this. I mean, I've been at funerals. I was at a funeral for someone affiliated with EASTBAY, and they were at the open grave. And one of the cousins said, I just want to kick her. Kicked her foot out, my auntie, into the grave. And let me tell you what I did, because it's what I want you to do when that kind of animosity shows up. And don't act like it doesn't show up, because I know that it does in this conflicted world. What I want you to do is what I did. I just went and stood next to her. Because if we are practicing the presence of peace, the presence of love, if we are the place where God shows up, as soon as you go and stand next to somebody who is in that middle of chaos, just like the hem of his garment, they'll be made whole. I don't need you to participate. I already know you and I are one, so I'm standing next to you, giving you the presence of God. I am the place where God shows up, and this is true about you if you're willing to let go of ego. If you're willing to have a different story about what's possible. Reverend E give you a hug, it'll change your life. She look at you right in your eye, and that whole story you was just telling, it don't even sound right. You just get ready to say, well, Reverend E, they always, I just need you to pray for me. That's what I'm talking about. I'm going to come stand next to you. And that I already ought to tell you. I see you. I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to practice a mutual liberation. Your liberation is tied up with mine, because I'm really trying to find out if this philosophy works. I'm saying if we change our thinking, not just me, if we change our thinking, everything should change. I want everybody to have a testimony like Chris's. Don't just sit here. Do something. And don't just do something, do the right thing. And don't just do the right thing, do the being thing, do the allowing thing, do the thing where you are the faucet and God is the water. Do the thing where you are the place that God shows up. Do the thing that says God has a greater power than whatever circumstance is in my life or your life or their life or the society's life or Oakland's life or America's life or the world's life. God has a power that's greater than any circumstance. And if we believe that, and I think we might, then go ahead and tell a different story. You don't always have to do it with your mouth. Your presence. Your presence. I got a plaque in my office Reverend E gave me that says, preach the gospel. Use words if necessary. That was the nicest way anybody's ever told me to be quiet. That's what I'm trying to tell you. She was practicing the presence. She could give it to me straight, but she knew I kind of needed it as a gift, something that was a little reminder. You don't have to be so harsh with people. You can love them unconditionally the way we want to be loved unconditionally, because all of that criticism really comes from self-criticism, yes? We treat people the way we treat ourselves. And so I just wanted to say, Mama, I really appreciate you and all that you gave me to teach me about cooking as love. And I want to thank you for all the love you have given every single person in our family. And them greens at Kyra's birthday was the best greens I ever had in my life. Thank y'all for letting me celebrate my mama, and I hope you will come up with a different story about your own. Thank you so much. I want to just acknowledge Kimberly. You know, we were trying to figure out what practitioners were going to be here doing what today. I got a message from Robert. He said, Kimberly going to do that too. I was like, she going to do that too? He said, yeah, she going to do prayer during service. She going to carry the prayer box. She going to do the vigil, and she going to stay after service for prayer. Stop it. And so, you know, Kimberly, I'm going to ask you to do the prayer today.
So I am just recognizing here and now that there is one of us here, one beautiful presence that is love, that is harmony, that is peace, that is order, that is clarity, that is everything that is life-affirming. Yes. And what I know is that those qualities, those life-affirming qualities live within each one of us as who we truly are. Yes. And so, and that's what I'm knowing as I have my hand on this prayer box, is that every prayer in this box is answered because it was asked to be. And so I'm just knowing that if there is anything on anyone's heart today, that you are blessed, that God is listening to you. And all that needs to happen is for you to listen back. Because you are always, always being guided. Amen. Always. Just open your ears, open your heart, and it is given. And so what I'm knowing is whatever appearance may be in your way, just let it go. Let it go right here and right now. And allow the joy and the love and the sadness too, just to come into your heart, whatever is real for you. And just know that you are loved beyond measure. Know that you are one with the one, and that this is a safe place for you to be. A safe place in which everyone is honored. And so I am just grateful for the word that we heard today. I am grateful for Reverend Dereca's beautiful mother who is celebrating her birthday. I am grateful for everyone that came today that has pain in their heart and that has allowed the joy to join that pain so it is healed. And so now I do what I love to do. I take my hands off of this because I am confident. I am confident that the law brings forth that is manifesting, that every word that is spoken, every thought that is thought is being healed, and joy is coming. Yes. And so I let go, I let God, and say with love and with confidence, and so it is.
And so it is. This is what I love about this church, the diversity here. There's a place for everybody, right? Oh, she's all quiet and powerful in that, and I'm all loud and powerful in that, and you know, it's bigger than race or religion. We did the Muslim call, the prayer, and we just have people who are willing, and I love that. So if this is your first time here, you came on a good day. Go ahead and stand up if you would. We want to give you some love, and we have a little gift for you. We're not going to make you talk. So thank you so much. We appreciate you. Stretch out your hands, EASTBAY. Stretch out your hands. Let's do our thing. It's not too late to stand up. If it's you, stand up, and we want to give you some of this love. And here's what we say to you. Welcome to EASTBAY Church. Welcome to EASTBAY Church. The God in us, recognizes the God in you. We thank you for being here. We're always here for you. And so it is. All right. There's a note in your packet that allows us to stay in contact, invite you to some of the wonderful things that are happening. You can just return it to the ushers, and we'll make sure that someone gets in touch with you. It's our time for gracious giving. And so we want to give thanks for those of you who are already hooked up and automated. There's a kiosk in the back. Let's see all the ways. You can give on the mail, online, text, PayPal, Zelle is coming. There's just a bill. In fact, Zelle is already set up online at EBCRS.org. So just give. Whether you give here or someplace else, what's important is that you be in the flow of energy that's called money, because it's just energy. And let's tell a different story about it. There's no lack. There's no limitation. God is blessing people every single day. Let's be one of them. Let's read our offertory statement. Together, as I give thanks for the good now flowing into my life, I gladly share that good with others. The more I give, the more I receive. And so it is.
Thank you, God, for everything. 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 Thank you, God, for everything.
Just giving thanks for the presence and power of God as it shows up to bless this ministry and all ministries, teaching truth and reaching communities everywhere. We just give thanks for how God shows up as each and every one of us. Give thanks for the work that is done with this energy, for all that is created, the healing balm from the youth and family ministry to the warm winter holiday drive. We give thanks for the way this church shows up. And I just release this word to the perfect activity of the law, which amplifies and multiplies and pressed down and running together, blesses every person who gave and who had the intention to give, but not yet the means today. I let go, and I let God just be God. And so it is.
And so it is.
Okay, we got some really good stuff happening. I had to go change, y'all know it's menopause. We can say it in public. Personal summer. You know, we don't talk about these things. I had a personal summer. It's okay. It's all right. You know, we got to start being community for each other. It's a beautiful thing, these transitions. I got wisdom. That's what okay, we have opportunities. We are giving out scholarships And so we wanted to have an opportunity to extend the deadline to October 15th. Look at that online. They need to be a member or closely related to a member. They have to be accepted to a 2 or 4 year certificate program and willing to contribute some service. And you can reapply, even if you received a scholarship before and you're going on with your education. So please apply. A deadline is October 15th. You can find this on the website at EBCRS.org. We will have service after prayer. We will have prayer after service and service after prayer, because prayer is service. Can I have practitioners come to the front who are available to stay after service for prayer? If you can make your way to the front. These are the folks who are here and available to pray with you. Please pay attention to who they are, because they're ready and willing, and there's no reason to take something home that no longer serves you. We have Food Angel food distribution on the 3rd Sunday of the month. Faces is sponsoring that from 12 to 1. Please let other people know. Don't feel like you have to be in deep need. We want to give this food to our community, so we have fresh food. They make me take a bag home every week. I'm like, here, take these potatoes and the vegetables. Yes. Okay, you know what? I've got the practitioners standing here, and so if you want prayer, we'll get you the announcements. Come on up. Just come on up, or you all can go to the back if you want, so people don't feel, you know how y'all be sometimes. When Reverend Deborah was here, she made everybody come up. But I'm going to have you all head to the back. And if you would like prayer, which should be just about everybody, go ahead and ignore the rest of the announcements and go back there. So practitioners, if you'll head to the back of the room, folks can meet you there for prayer, and I'll get through these announcements a little more rapidly. Sunday night football. Oh, I guess we don't have those folks in here. That's all right. Tell them about it. They can come to church and watch football 5 to 8:30 every Sunday, they tell me, until the Super Bowl. Presented by the EASTBAY men. I see how y'all showing up. Wednesday night power hour is with Arlene King. That's online. Spiritual Man. I really am loving how the brothers are showing up in this community. And so we get to have an opportunity for y'all to build community for each other. Next Saturday, which is the 4th Saturday of the month, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., Brother Tyrone, Reverend Anthony, lots of good folks are going to be there. You be there too.
Brother Grantland?
Brother Grantland. Yeah, I see. We got some good folks, and we're expanding that consciousness. And that's it. So I'm going to turn it. I'm going to turn it back to Reverend Anthony, who is going to close us out. I'll meet you in the back. Please come back there and get prayer. We're going to take you to the prayer room, and you're going to be done with it. All right?
Amen. Amen. Let us all stand, please, as we prepare to go and spread the good news. As we go to spread the good news. And, Yeah, let me have,
Whatever you need, brother. We here.
Anyway, so as we prepare to leave this place, we spread the consciousness of the good news that God has risen. The Spirit of God is all expressing in me and through me. And for this and so much more, I am eternally grateful. And so it is. Have a blessed day.
So it is.
1, 2, 3. We're going to close
Get
this
on
out
the
with
train.
a love train.
Get on this love train. Woo, woo. Love train.
People all over the world, join hands, start a love train, love train. People all over the world,
Join hands.
join hands,
Start a love train.
start a love train, love train.
Next stop that we made will be England.
Well,
Oh, tell all the folks in Russia and China too.
yeah.
Don't
this train keep on riding, riding on through. Oh, yeah. Join hands, join the love train, start a love train, love train. People all over the world join hands, start a love train, start a love train, love train. Let it fly, let it ride.
Come on up, Linda.
Let it ride, let it ride. Oh, yeah. People all over the world join hands, start a love train, start a love train, love train.
Come get your
People all
ticket.
over the world join hands, start a love train, start a love train, love train. People all over the world join hands, start a love train, love train. People all over the world join hands, start a love train, start a love train. Join hands, love train. People all over the world join hands, start a love train, start a love train, love train. People all over the world.
Yeah.
Make sure to stop by the kitchen